Welcome to the ElkShape Gear channel. Today I'm going to discuss saddle hunting, which I recently just did on a whitetail hunt, and how I'm going to implement that when I go elk hunting in 2025. Come along, I'll break down all my whitetail gear. I've been whitetail hunting longer than I've elk hunted, and I've been elk hunting for 23, 24 years. Let's go. Okay, so this is a hawk Tua. This is the hawk. These are my climbing sticks. These are on the cheaper side and on the lighter side. Made in Vietnam. These flip out. I do 4 and sometimes 5. And there are guys who can climb up in their saddle with 1 stick, and there's a technique for that. Find a YouTube video. That's not me. I'd rather carry 4 or 5 sticks with me, and they're pretty slick. So I like these. They are a little bit pain in the ass. So you're going to just run this loop around, and that right there, it'll hold on the back of the tree, and you'll push down, and it's going to be pretty secure. 4 or 5 of these will do the trick. 4 or 5 of these will do the trick. And then you have your platform. I personally would not saddle hunt without a platform. So this guy right here, you're going to do the exact same technique. Go around the tree, hook on that other knob. And then what you do is you push this down, and if it's not super tight, stand on this with 1 foot, and with the other foot, just lift this up and it will pinch it nice and tight. Whatever you're doing, if you are perpendicular to the tree, that's really going to be your main shooting lane. I will say with the saddle, you have a lot more area to cover, but the platform, and this is, this is like the Predator platform from the guys over at Tethered. Pretty money. If in a perfect world, I might upgrade my platform for something that hopefully is this light, but just bigger, just to have more real estate for more comfort for longer sits. Then you have the actual saddle itself. So this is from Tethered. This is the Phantom. This is a little belt pocket that you put on. These are your main hooks on both sides. You just step in it like underwear. Then you click in right here. Cinch it in tight. It's pretty dang comfortable. These little hooks are for your linemen, which anytime I say lineman, I'm just using that to climb safely. I don't use the lineman when I'm actually hunting. I use the Tethered. This guy right here is out in front. This will eventually be what you hook up to the Tethered. Let me see if I have my other parts. So this right here is your lineman. Loosen that up. I pretty much only use this when I'm climbing the tree. This guy. And then you go around the tree. Hook on this side. You can shorten this up, lengthen it, and you're secure. And I keep that sucker on me while I'm climbing up the tree. Once the platform's in, I have it on, and once I finally tether in, then I will take it off and put it in my little pouch. This little belt pouch is a lot of times you can hook your platform to it as well on the side, so you're like pretty much have everything you need. You're not having to get into your backpack, which is pretty important. Then you take your Tethered and you take this guy, you go around the tree, you feed this through. I usually have it about eye height. That cinches up against the tree. So this is around the tree, maybe about eye level, which might be too much pressure on your hips. You just loosen it, bring it down a little lower, takes a little less pressure off your hips. This guy is everything, and this is again from Tethered. So your weight keeps this nice and secure. If you want to lengthen it, you lift this up and it creates slack, let go, and it pinches nice and tight. This hooks in right here to the lineman belt. And there's tons of videos on YouTube about this stuff, so you guys watch those for how-tos. This is just what I used my first experience. And then I have this up here hooked to my belt. I take my lineman stuff off, and I'm running just this. And you'll have a little bit of slack. You can kind of loop it over. And it's essentially like that. Pretty dope system. And then I would recommend, we did a video on this. I'll post that over on the ElkShape channel. We did a full video of like practicing shooting out of the saddle just to get reps with it. And it is a little different than standing normal. All in all, I think you just got to check your bubble, and it does have, you have the ability to be mobile, go up any tree you want. The other thing is that you have the ability to cover more shooting lanes. Essentially, you can shoot damn near 360, no joke. So I like that. Should mention that this is a lumbar support I think they call it the MVP from Tethered, where this will go around your back while you're in the tethered for lumbar support. I did dark to dark sits, and I never used this. Maybe I should have, but all in all, I do keep it in this pouch as a should, but not a must. So this whole system's from Tethered. I haven't tried anyone else's yet. I plan on trying some other systems, but I've been very, very pleased with the Hawk climbing sticks, the Predator platform from Tethered, and the Phantom. This is what I'm going to use for elk hunting next year, early season. I'm going to kill an elk out of a stand, Lord willing. Let's talk about some other whitetail essentials. You're going to want paracord. You're going to want to pull your bow up the tree. You're not climbing a tree with a bow on your back. It's just not going to happen. You want that. And I just basically dumped my pack. I just got home yesterday. So Peaks headlamp, the Duo, the red. Now they offer the green. Both of them do white. 3 different levels of brightness, flashing, and you can hold a button down and it will flash twice at you. So that tells you it's not going to turn on in your backpack. And I still haven't I used this for 3 days in a row. Hunting dark to dark, used it a ton. And I also used it at base camp. I was camping out on this hunt. Still haven't charged this up. So that's good. I'll talk about layering system in a second, but this right here, I don't like to wear gloves. I have practiced shooting with gloves on. It's fine. If you're going to wear gloves, practice shooting with your glove on, your face mask, all that stuff. But this is from Marsupial. You can see I still have hot hands, but I like this underneath the saddle. And I usually put 2 to 4 hand warmers in here. Clips on, absolutely stealth mode. It's great. Over here, this is an old buck grunt tube from Primos. I did not grunt any bucks in. I had 4 or 5 bucks. I was only in the stand for 3 days. 2.5 of them were getting technical. And I had multiple shots on bucks. And mainly just because I was on really good trails with lots of scrapes, rubs, and funnels. And these deer, I did not grunt 1 buck in. But I've had it work in my history of whitetail hunting so well. I usually grunt a couple times every hour, on the hour, and then every 30 minutes I usually rattle. I like real rattle horns. This is from Night in Hell. This is what I brought just because I didn't want to pack a bunch of stuff. And I will do a very small tickling of the horns, very short, maybe 5 to 7 seconds, and then put it away. Gloves for in the mornings are these wool gloves from Black Ovis. I'm not sure. It's got a little monkey on it. These have held up real well. Wool gloves. Marsupial Bino pouch. Enclosed. Basically, extra release. Allen's. My Vortex 3000. The Viper. Windicator. 10 by 32s. Razors are now available. That's what I've been running for whitetail because I don't need to see that far out. And then for self-filming, I have a DJI Action 3 on this like gorilla legs. And this is basically directly filming me. So if when I have a buck coming in, I just turn it on. So I have kind of like my reaction, me drawing, things like that. And then I wear this head. This is a DJI Action 5. Absolutely love it. I wear that. I used to do swing arms and stuff like that in DSLR cameras. It's just too much weight. It's not realistic and nobody really cares. So, I'll pack these. These are ratchet to getting some stuff off, and I'll bring a saw, hand warmers, foot warmers. I buy the Costco pack, extra battery pack for the DJIs, so 3 batteries here, plus this is a rechargeable case. Let's go through my backpack, and let's go through my Born Primitive layering system, which is going to be key. I wear this face mask because it just keeps you so much more warmer, and I have shot my bow with this on just to make sure it doesn't affect my release. This is a game changer. So that's from BP. Oh my gosh, my last day hunting, it rained all night, which means bucks are going to be freshening scrapes up, but also means it's going to be, I had a 1.5 mile walk to where I wanted to hunt. So Peak Skaters, I only wore them on the last day. It had rained all night. These are awesome. Discount code ElkShape takes 10% off. Throw that Duo headlamp in there if you need to. This is from Numa. This is their heated core. Battery, charger, heated layers. This is awesome. I usually turn it on like towards the last 2 hours of my sit. These do not last all day. Regardless of what they tell you, these do not last all day. But for me, when I get cold and if I see a big buck, you talk about being already chilled and then the adrenaline dump. I'm pretty much going to be worthless and I'm not going to be able to make a good shot. So this has really helped mitigate that. Like I said, it was raining a little bit, so I had the Mission Flex. This is really 4-way stretch rain gear, and it's affordable, and it's kind of a good wind resistant. I kind of wear this not next to skin, but as a mid layer, and then I kind of overlay it with the Tundra. There's a Tundra Light and a Tundra Heavy, depending on, like where I was hunting was about 32 degrees as the coldest. And it wasn't getting much higher than 38. It was perfect whitetail hunting weather. So I wore the Tundra Light. If it had been below 30, I would be in the Tundra Heavy. And so that's kind of my next layer. And then over the top, this is not from Born Primitive Outdoor. This is from Born Primitive Proper. But it's like this fleecy, I wear this over everything. It kind of quiets down that synthetic puffy. And that's my most outer layer. This is the quiver. This is without the hood. This is another good mid layer, or my next to skin layer, or the ridge line, which I don't have here. And then I might even wear a beanie over the face mask to really capture that heat and not let it leak out of my head. Let's check out my backpack and footwear. These are the Shimmicks. These are just like the Laponias, except for they're insulated. They do a really good job of keeping my feet warm. So again, same flex rating as Laponia, like literally a duplicate, except for it's insulated. So I'll wear these on, like, I had to hike in over 1.5 miles through pretty good terrain. I wore these. Now, if I'm hunting, whitetail hunting, where I'm like maybe only hiking 300 or 400 yards from the truck, I'll wear rubber boots. For sure. And these are from Lacrosse. I've had them forever. I'll wear these if I'm doing whitetail hunting and only walking a couple hundred yards. So this is the Bedlam. I'll stash anything I need in here. Usually my all my camera stuff's in here and any layers I need. I'll have in my pocket any snacks. And then in the main compartment is where I'll put 4 climbing sticks and the platform. You know what these are for. Kill kit, Montana knife, Nalgene, good to go. This is literally the socks I wore were the Black Ovis ones. Black Ovis branded. Anything over Black Ovis, use discount code ElkShape, take 10% off. Staying warm is my biggest struggle. So what I've done out here in Washington, especially in North Idaho, is a heater bodysuit. These are basically a full body sleeping bag, and I will basically unzip just enough to where I can get out quietly. It takes some practice, but I'm telling you, if it's under 20 degrees, I'm hunting with the heater bodysuit, and I can hunt all day. Sheep feet for my feet, regardless of if I'm wearing the Shimmicks or the Lacrosse. Lots of hand warmers. I'm a huge mock scrape guy, so I have all the stuff that you would love from Buck Bomb. Forehead gland stuff for above the scrape. These little guys, all sorts of peas to put in. I got estrus, 2 hot does. I generally try to find a scrape that a buck will definitely freshen up after a rain, and I'll freshen it up myself. Works real well. Finally, in that little pouch on the Phantom, I'll keep 1 or 2 of these. 1 for the bow. I don't like a bow hanger. And 1 for the backpack. And sometimes 1 for whatever else, like to hang my rattling sticks or whatever on here. So 3 there. This is how to stay super mobile. Mobile hunting for deer has taught me that I can take these same principles and practices and take them to the elk woods. And this year was no different. I set a permanent tree stand for elk. I had 5 different bulls come by my tree stand. 1 which was a shooter. I just didn't get a shot off. I ran out of daylight and a whole bunch of other stuff. Looking up the mountain, there was a better pinch point where I would have, all those elk came down through that pinch point. I think I would have had a better wind. I didn't want to take everything down, hike up the mountain, reset everything up. But with this mobile system, I'm going to be doing that. And when I was whitetail hunting just a couple of days ago, I literally moved sets 3 different times. And I've obviously, like, my favorite time to see big bucks is about 10 a.m. to noon when the does are bedded and the bucks are cruising. And so every time I was in a stand, I was hunting a funnel, but I was also could see in the distance and observing, almost like an observational set where I could see. And then I was like, dang, I'm getting a lot of deer activity over there. Move over there, see a fresh scrape, see a rub, see a funnel, pick out the perfect tree and set that. Also, there were deer heading to food sources, so I would hunt closer to the food sources in the evening. And then in the mornings, I kind of figured out where they were bedding. I would set up in the mornings. I just loved being mobile. I didn't have to hang up multiple stands. I was lightweight. I was mobile. Probably some of the most productive whitetail hunting I've ever done. And I saw the biggest public land whitetail I've ever seen. and I will show you a little video clip of it. I had him at 77 yards, no shot, and it's probably best that he didn't come under my stand because I was already cold, and the adrenaline dump, buck fever, I was shaking like a leaf, and that's why we do it, guys. Hopefully this helps you for your whitetail. Hopefully this helps you for elk season. Separation is in the preparation. We'll catch you on the next one.